Coach, defense, offense did some good things early. Defense dominated late. Just take us through the mindset of practice today.
Yeah, sometimes just with a younger group, you just got to stay after them, kind of get them rolling. Once they get rolling, get a little confidence going. I think it's hard, for that confidence to wear off as a younger group. And that's, Coach Womack does a really good job of, he wants to create a defense that plays with a lot of swagger about them, a lot of confidence about them. And so once our ball starts rolling as a young defense and a confident group, it's tough to slow those guys down.
Even though I think you only had one takeaway, but the defense had a whole bunch of sacks, some knockdowns where maybe the ball bounces in a different way and it's a takeaway. How much does that help in building the confidence of this defense?
A ton, because we pride ourselves on a lot of athleticism, and we always talk about we want to create negative plays. So yeah, you might not get a takeaway, on a certain play, but is it a negative? Are we creating a negative play, putting those offenses in tough situations? I think we were able to do that a lot today with our up front, our 4 guys up front. Coach Hagan does a great job with those guys, but also just creating pressures by bringing extra backers. And then our coverage has really, in my opinion, our guys have really done a great job of just buying into the techniques, the fundamentals that we're teaching, holding our shells, holding our looks, stemming to certain routes and how we're playing, where our eyes are, understanding where your help is, and as teammates, where you have a post defender, do you not have a post defender, you have low hole, and all those things. I think our guys are really starting to buy into that and doing a great job of ownership with that.
You lose a guy like Jonathan Crawford, who played 50 games here and was at every practice and every rep. How do you go about replacing somebody who's that reliable?
It takes everybody in the room. I'm going to be honest with you, and that's, I think, kind of set up a little accountability system in our room. We are a young group with the exception of Khalil, and so I do lean on Khalil for some of those, I call them the Wiley vet type situations. But it's going to take a whole room to replace somebody like that, and we're priding ourselves on that right now. We've got a more talented room, in my opinion, than it has ever been since I've been here, and that's a tribute to the guys that came before everybody that's here, and the staff just doing a phenomenal job recruiting and identifying guys, but it's going to take a whole room to replace somebody that had the productivity, the starts, like you said. The guy never missed practice. He was Mr. Durability. But it takes everybody challenging each other every single day in our room just to keep that continuity together and keep the group together. None of us is as strong as all of us, and that's our mentality right now.
Outside of Khalil, are there any young guys who are stepping up into that vocal leadership role?
Yeah, Monster and Fitz, I've really challenged both of those guys, and you can hear it. During walkthroughs, if they're not in, they're back there coaching guys up. And that's important because both those guys played last year and played over 200 snaps apiece, which is is pretty good for a freshman in situational type situations. So challenge really both of those guys to take the ownership role, hold the accountability of the group, and they've both done really good. Monster's coming out of his shell a little bit. That's one thing I've worked with him, is just being more of a vocal guy. That's not his personality, it's not his persona, but he is buying into it. You can hear him out there talking. And then Fitz is, he's a by example guy. He's a heady football player, really natural, but he's not afraid to speak up and let guys know as well, hey, you're not holding us to the standard that we want to set, so we got to pick it up.
And people have been impressed by team speed, especially on the defense. How much is that the work in the offseason in the weight room, and how much of that is having confidence and knowing where you're supposed to be and what you're doing?
I think it's both. Obviously our strength staff does a phenomenal job, and the numbers don't lie, and we're bigger, faster, stronger than we've ever been. But you look at a guy like, for example, Cam Jones, who we're putting some at free safety, some at stinger. He's a guy that played defensive end in high school. So take a guy from defensive end, put him back at free safety, and with his athleticism and speed, he's buying into the defense. He knows where he's supposed to be. He gets there with just tremendous effort. And our one thing we were talking about today was just execution with effort. Let's execute our assignments, but do it with full-out effort, because when we play hard, that's when the speed shows up. And when those guys are confident in the scheme, and Coach Womack's done an unbelievable job just getting those guys to buy in, carry the swagger and the confidence, now we can just cut it loose and go play fast. And all those guys are tremendous.